Hey, I'm Rob Adler, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate, and this week, we head to the light bulb of a town known as Hellmira.
Yes.
Woo!
Indeed. So much light and effervescence coming from this here town.
Mm-hmm. I think it was referenced in last week's hint, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed it was.
And I want to give a little hint for later in the episode, but we're going to be hearing from the Upstate Poet Laureate, Arch Merrill, of his own episode fame that we did a while back.
Sure.
You know, we used to talk about him more, and it's been a while since we've been able to talk about old Arch Merrill and his writings.
Old Archie.
But we'll be quoting him directly later on in the episode, and I'm excited, Jim.
Oh, I know.
And
I know this.
I'm just going to come out and say it. We're going to have Arch Merrill talking about canals later. So if I die after today's episode, you'll know why, because I achieved total happiness.
It went to the next level.
It did.
You went to the next level, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what can help take us to the next level, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
It's liking, subscribing, and rating, and also reviewing this podcast. Guys, help us out. Do one of those things. Do all of those things. Give us a 5-star rating. Write us a positive review. And within that review, you can write a submission, or a suggestion, rather, for a future topic for us to cover on the podcast. And we'll do it. Last week's episode was a suggestion from a listener. So get those into us. You can also email us at understandingupstate@gmail.com. But it doesn't end there, Jim. Wait, there's more.
There's so much more. Well, and before we get there, I do want to say we haven't gotten a fan mail in a while. So drop us a line here.
I mean, look, Jim, let's be clear. Adam Rodkey slides into our email early and often. So I don't want to discredit our number one speedy freak and rattlesnake, Pete. But we haven't heard from anyone else.
No discredit there. None. Adam's been down across several different shows in the Jim Search universe, and that is the last person that I would ever besmirch on this here podcast.
Indeed.
For sure. So if you're anybody else other than Adam Rodkey, hit us up. And Adam, you can hit us up too. Don't feel like you're left out of the party. You know what else would be great to wear to a party, Rob? Is a Understanding Upstate t-shirt. That'd be great.
Yeah.
If you go to understandingupstate.printful.me, you could go ahead and get yourself one of those shirts. It is fake spring right now. It's going to be a great fetch to wear. People are going to dig it. And quite frankly, it'll be dope for you to support our show. So buy like 1,000 of them.
There's no limit. You can buy, they'll print as many as you want to purchase.
If you have the money, they'll do it for you. Like anything in life, if you have the money, someone will do it.
There you go.
For sure. So go ahead and run those all the way up to the heavens.
There we go.
Rob.
Jim.
Guess what, man? We have not one, but 2 Upstate updates this week.
Do I have to do the jingle twice?
I mean, I think one is good because I think it's going to catch it all.
That's true.
Both.
That's true. That would set a dangerous precedent, I think.
I was going to say, man, let's get ahead of that. We want to get right ahead of that one there, my friend.
Well, here we go.
So here it is.
Let's hear it.
All right. First off, it is with very sad hearts here at the Understanding Upstate podcast that we report that the institution, the franchise, Skate Estate in Vestal, home to so many memories. We read some of those testimonials on our episode. Go back and run that up. The Skate Estate is no mas. It has been open since 1982, And at the time of this recording, it has been closed. It is a very sad day. Rest in peace to Skate Estate. So many fond memories. I saw some pictures posted recently, stung the inner core of my brain. Said, holy moly, guacamole. I remember these rinks that this place once had. The water slide. Holy shit, the water slide, man. Oh my goodness.
Do we know what happened?
I'm sure money related.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody, I think it's turned into a parking lot because, that's what we need. This would have been a great
over skate paradise. Turn it into a parking lot.
This would have been the perfect time, like in true movie fashion, for someone to do like a fundraiser to like save Skate Estate. And in the 11th hour, someone presents a check and it stays open.
I mean, I can't imagine they didn't own the building, having been open that long, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm
wondering if this was money related. That being said, if they were not making any money.
But also I can't remember if it had changed hands or not in those 82 years. Could just be wanting to get out of the skate business,
Hopefully not 82 years.
Or since 1982.
I was going to say.
Might as well be 82
years. That puts me at 81 years old, which, holy shit, man. I know I'm not a spring chicken, but wow. In 1982. 1982 they opened.
So what I mean. 82 is the new 40. We here at Understanding Upstate again send our condolences to the institution, the franchise, Skate Estate. Rest in peace. Second Upstate update. Jim, bring us a happy,
Yeah, this is definitely gonna send us out on a happier note here. Last Sunday, as a promo effort, I had a great conversation with LaRue over at Stellar Human. We went live on Instagram, and it was a really dope conversation, man. Again, we've sung his praises on this show.
A guest on this show.
He has been a guest on the show, absolutely. He has been doing such great work in Binghamton, and his host is going to be the home of Stellar Human Presents at the end of this month. March 27th. Make sure you go get those tickets. They are $15 on Eventbrite, $20 at the door. Going to be a great show. You want to pull up for that. But we had a really great conversation. We did some dope promo for it. My man Tone Chop was in the shop, and Tone Chop is a Binghamton rap legend. My man Tone has put the music scene. I told him this. I said, you put the music scene on your back in Binghamton, New York for such a long time, and I'm glad that he's getting his flowers. He was in the shop.
Nice.
He was in the shop. I had a quick convo with him. Told him he comes to the show, I'll talk shit about anybody he wants. That's a standing invitation. If you come to Stellar Human Presents, tell me somebody you don't like, and I will talk shit about them at that show. Promise you that.
Nice.
So
nice.
As far as the Upstate update goes, life's about balance. I had to say our condolences to Skate Estate, but also had a great promo spot there with LaRue over at Stellar Human. And we're going to be doing another one within the week or two leading up to the show. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't follow me, Jim Search, or Stellar Human, please go do both of those things, and then you'll be able to catch the promo. So there you go. And there you have it.
There we go.
That is what I got.
Well, Jim, just like Stellar Human and Skate Estate, they're both in the southern tier. Which, so is today's topic, the lovely city of Elmira. Shall we get to it?
Yes. Let's go, man. Big shout out to Elmira. Big shout out to my man Levi. My man Levi from Elmira. He just popped up in my brain. I should have had him as a guest. He had told us all about.
We can always do Elmira Part 2. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to reach out to him and see if he wants to talk some Elmira shit.
Well, let's talk about some Elmira shit right now, shall we?
Let's go.
All right. So we've got Elmira. It is in the southern central part of the county, surrounded on three sides by the town of Elmira. It is in the southern tier, of course, just a short distance north of the Pennsylvania state line. The city was the site of the Elmira prison, a prisoner of war camp that held over 12,000 captured Confederate soldiers during the American Civil War. Elmira College is also located within the city. So let's talk a little bit about the early history, shall we?
Let's.
All right. The region of Elmira was inhabited by the Cayuga Nation of the Haudenosaunee prior to the European colonization. Cayuga residing in the region maintained relations with European settlers primarily related to the fur trade, but were otherwise relatively isolated from expanding colonial settlements. During the American Revolutionary War, the Sullivan Expedition of 1779 was mounted by the Continental Army against the four Haudenosaunee nations which had allied with the British. The expeditionary force fought a combined British Haudenosaunee force at the Battle of Newtown, south of the current city, in which the Continental Army was victorious. After the conclusion of the war, the Haudenosaunee and the United States signed a treaty at Elmira in 1791 to settle territorial disputes in the region. Most of the Cayuga emigrated under pressure from encroaching American settlements with the other nations of the Haudenosaunee to Canada, where they resettled on land provided by the British Crown. And we just blew through like 8 different potential episode topics. There's a lot of history in the area. And those are full chapters in Southern Tier Volume 2 by Arch Merrill. So we might have to dip into some of that, particularly like the treaty that was signed there. And again, there's a lot of history just in the region. And Newtown, which I think became Elmira, if I'm not mistaken, or loosely became Elmira.
If you're from Elmira and you listen to this podcast, ring off and let us know.
There you go. Oh, we'll talk about it. But also you can talk about it too. But I digress. The first European American settler in Elmira was Abraham Miller, who served as a captain in the Continental Army. Miller constructed a cabin after resigning just before the end of the Revolutionary War. Miller's Pond and Miller Street are named after him and are near the location of his house. So how did this town form, Jim?
We're going to find out.
All right. So the New York legislature established the township of Chemung, now Chemung County, in 1788. The settlement of Newtown was soon established at the intersection of Newtown Creek and the Chemung River. In 1792, the settlement at Newtown joined with the Weisnerburg and DeWittsburg settlements to form the village of Newtown. In 1808, the village officially changed its name to the town of Elmira at a town meeting held at Teal's Tavern. It is said that the town was named after tavern owner Nathan Teal's young daughter, but the story has never been confirmed. Well, guess what? We're going to hear from Arch Merrill about it.
Sure.
The daughter's name being Elmira, of course. According to Amos Bugby Carpenter's Memorial family history book printed in 1898, Elmira is named after Major General Matthew Carpenter's daughter. This naming occurred, according to the book, in 1821 at the Constitutional Convention, to which Matthew was a delegate. In any case, the city of Elmira, nicknamed the Queen City, was incorporated in 1864 from part of the town of Elmira and the village of Elmira. The remaining part of the town of Elmira exists still, surrounding the city on the west, north, and east. The city and town share an intricately entwined history. It always is confusing when there's a fucking town in a city with the same name.
Listen, there's a city of Binghamton and a town of Binghamton, man.
Yeah, can't we just get
Matt
along?
Lives in the town.
Can't we just get along?
You'd think. You would think.
Well, Elmira served as a transportation hub for New York's southern tier in the 1800s, connecting commercial centers in Rochester and Buffalo with Albany and New York City via the canal system and railroads. The city was the southern terminus of the Chemung Canal, completed in 1833. Later, the junction Kanawals, constructed to connect Elmira with Corning, facilitating the transport of coal from the Pennsylvania mines via the northern branch of the Susquehanna Canal system. In 1849, the New York and Erie Railroad was built through Elmira, giving the area a New York City to Buffalo route. In 1850, the Elmira and Jefferson Railroad gave the area a route north, and in 1854, the Elmira and Williamsport Railroad a route south. These railroads and their connections made the city a prime location for an army training and muster point early in the Civil War. Speaking of which, we mentioned earlier there was a positively massive prisoner of war camp there during the Civil War. So let's learn a little bit about that.
Sure. Let's talk about it. There is a long history of prisons in the Elmira area. A great deal of the 30-acre Union installation, known as Camp Rathbun, fell into disuse as the Civil War progressed, and the camp's Barracks No. 3 were converted into a Civil War prisoner of war camp in the summer of 1864. The camp, in use from June 6, 1864 to autumn 1865, was dubbed Hellmira by its inmates, and that nickname extended long into the prison system of today, as Hellmira is the nickname of the federal institution in upstate New York. Towner's history in 1892 and maps from the period indicate the camp occupied a somewhat irregular parallelogram running about 1,000 feet west and approximately the same distance south of a location several hundred feet west off Hoffman Street and Windsor Avenue, bordered on the south by Foster's Pond, on the north of the Chemung River. In the months the site was used as a camp, 12,123 Confederate soldiers were incarcerated. Of these, 2,963 died during their stay from a combination of malnutrition, prolonged exposure to brutal winter weather, and disease directly attributable to the dismal sanitary conditions on Foster's Pond and lack of medical care.
That is a pretty, it's like a quarter of 25% of the people died. That is...
Yeah. You're already dealing with, like, piss poor medical care because it's the 1800s, where they're like, well, see, you got this bullet in your leg.
They don't know about germs yet.
Nope. Still just like, yeah, just put some mud in there and I don't know, spit on it. It should be fine. So I can only imagine the lack of medical care in a prisoner of war camp in the Civil War. Anyway, the camp's dead were prepared for burial and laid to rest by the sexton at Woodlawn National Cemetery, ex-slave John W. Jones. At the end of the war, each prisoner was given a loyalty oath and given a train ticket back home. The last prisoner left the camp on September 27th, 1865. I guess at that one you just go, hey man, sorry about that. Don't try and leave the Union. Sorry about the whole slavery thing. Anyway, the camp was closed, demolished, and converted to farmland. Woodlawn Cemetery, about 2 miles north of the original campsite, was designated a national cemetery in 1877. The prison campsite today is a residential area, and you could not pay me to live there.
Yeah, that's a weird place to have an apartment, man. I don't
dude.
know.
Chill on that.
I'm good. I don't need any Confederate ghosts popping up in my bedroom at night.
Nah, man. They're already pissed off. They're in the north.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine how they would feel, especially if someone like me lived there.
Sure.
All right. Reformatory and correctional facility. The state legislature authorized the building of a state prison for first offenders in 1866. It opened in 1876 as the Elmira Reformatory under the direction of Zebulon Brockway, serving offenders aged 16 to 30. You putting kids in there? Of course you are. It was the first institution of its kind and a model for others to follow. In 1970, the complex was renamed Elmira Correctional and Reception Center.
Zebulon Brockway is the fakest name I think I've ever heard.
I was going to say, man, that sounds... Well, that's a galaxy or something.
Yeah. He's a captain of a starship.
Sure. He's out there doing some quasars. Hurricane Agnes and the 1972 flood. During the summer of 1972, Hurricane Agnes struck the eastern seaboard of the United States, causing significant damage stretching from Florida to New England. Elmira was particularly hit hard by the flood, with over an estimated $291 million in damage. Over 15,000 people had to flee the city, and approximately 5,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. Coordinated efforts between local churches and regional businesses helped with the cleanup. Operating in secrecy, Rochester, New York-based Eastman Kodak sent crews as part of Operation Rebuild.
Why would they do it secretly? Then you can't even write it off. What are they doing?
I guess you know what it was, is they just they didn't want to take credit for it.
I guess.
Their efforts rebuilt 78 homes and assisted in the repairs of countless others.
Cool.
So, Rob.
Yes.
We just talked about the people who were devastated as a part of the natural disaster. Tell us about the people who lived in Elmira.
Let's talk about demographics. All right. So, as of the census of 2000, there were 30,940 people. That's breaking out into 11,475 households and 6,701 families residing in the city. The population density was 4,229.5 inhabitants per square mile. That's pretty densely packed. There were 12,895 housing units at an average density of 1,762.7 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 82.03% white, 13.05% black or African American, 0.39% Native American, 0.49% Asian, 0.03% Pacific Islander, and 1.37% from other races, and 2.64% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 3.14% of the population. The three largest ethnic groups in Elmira, to the shock of no one, are Irish, German, and Italian.
Well, I'm glad I was sitting down when you said it, Rob, because, boy, I'm floored by that.
Well, Jim, where there are people, that means those people are spending money. So let's talk about the economy of Elmira. In 1889, the Elmira Bridge Company opened in Elmira Heights and merged with several other bridge companies to become the American Bridge Company in 1900. The population decline began during the recession of the early 1970s, during which several large employers, Ann Page, American Bridge, General Electric, American LaFrance, Westinghouse, and Remington Rand either closed their factories or moved to other states. We'll talk about American LaFrance a little bit, but it's a fire engine company, which I didn't know about. The decline was exacerbated by the flood of 1972, during which many of the downtown businesses and single-family homes were destroyed, which we talked about, or replaced by subsequent urban renewal projects in the Chemung River floodplain. U.S. Steel acquired the American Bridge plant, but it too was shuttered in 1983 until a succession of transportation firms took the site. Sumi Rail and ABB Traction from 86 to 91 before it was acquired by AdTrans from 91 to 2000.
Money.
There you go. We got some arts and culture in Elmira. Let's talk about that. At least two hilltops near the city, mostly on Harris Hill to the northwest, pioneer pilots established the sport of gliding in America. Wow, that's pretty cool. Harris Hill is a site of the National Soaring Museum and was also used for glider training during World War II. These sites are now recognized as national landmarks of soaring. Cool. I want to know what the other national landmarks of soaring are.
Where do they live?
Yeah. There's a lot of I don't know if gliding is technically aviation, but there's just a lot of aviation history in the southern tier. Let alone upstate New York. There's a lot of it. It's always cool to find another soaring factoid, I guess. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the arts and culture. We've got the SS Elmira Victory, a World War II era victory ship, was named after the city. Okay. Dunfield is a baseball stadium along the southern banks of the Chemung River. The Elmira Pioneers play at Dunfield. Famous players and managers who have played or managed at Dunfield include Babe Ruth, ever heard of him? Earl Weaver, Don Zimmer, Wade Boggs, and Curt Schilling. I think Wade Boggs is the only other name I know on there.
Curt Schilling played for the Yankees,
okay.
and he's pretty badass.
Nice. All right. Elmira College is in the city of Elmira. Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine has a branch of its medical school where Arno Park was formerly located. The Clemens Center is a concert and theater center named after Samuel Clemens, also known as Mark Twain. We're going to touch on more of this later, too, with one Arch Merrill. The Arno Art Museum is in the downtown Civic Historic District. We got the Eldridge Park, which features a restored 1890s Loof Carousel. Woodlawn Cemetery and Woodlawn National Cemetery are both in the city of Elmira in the northwest sector. Mark Twain and his family are buried in Woodlawn Cemetery. Oh, I didn't know that. Lecom Event Center, originally known as the Coach USA Center, later First Arena, which opened in 2000, is currently home to the Elmira Aviators at the National American Hockey League. It was previously home to the Elmira Jackals of the UHL and ECHL from 2000 to 2017, as well as two other teams in the FPHL, being the Elmira Enforcers from 2018 to 2021 and the Elmira Mammoth from 2022 to 2023. And the Elmira River Sharks. Ooh, what's a river shark? I hope a river shark is a real thing.
I've met a few in Binghamton.
Sure.
In my day, I've probably been accused of being one at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think I'm better than that, but,
All right.
I don't know. I was living a different life at some point.
Well, speaking about living life, we got to talk about people from Elmira who have lived notable lives.
Sure. Now, before we get there, I do want to say there was a player from the Elmira Jackals who made his way onto Dateline NBC. I'm going to let you do the research on that, folks.
Oh, not that Dateline. Oh, no.
Sure was.
Oh, no.
Sure was. Okay. And he also just happened to be a Binghamton native. But we can talk about that off mic.
It sounds like he might be staying at a facility in Elmira.
Sure. Or one like it. There's a facility much like the one in Elmira that he has an extended stay. Put it to you like
Got it. Well, let's talk about some other notable people.
There's far other notable people in Elmira, and I don't want to cast any sort of dark cloud over Elmira because there's so many other people that have done so much better work than that. And I'm going to tell you about all of them. We have John Alexander, racing driver. Ernie Davis, football player.
That's
we have spoken about.
The Elmira Express.
Right. He's the Elmira Express, baby.
Just a couple episodes ago. Go check it out. It's a great one.
Go run that one up.
There's a lot of things in Elmira named after him.
He was a bad dude. Ted Arnold, author and illustrator. John Arnott Jr., politician and Civil War soldier. There's an Arnott Mall, as you'd say it in Elmira.
Oh, I've been saying Arno.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Well, at least someone said it correctly.
I mean, I've said it. All right, I said it in a very upstate fashion. Right. Well, I mean, that's the podcast.
I'm saying it in what I assumed was a French fashion.
Sure. But in the Greater Southern Tier, it would be the Arnott Mall. So John Arnott Jr.,
All right.
politician, Civil War soldier. Elizabeth Frawley Bagley, U.S. Ambassador to Brazil. Charlie Baker, former governor of Massachusetts. Ray W. Baker, Major General, U.S. Army. Tracy Beadle, druggist, banker, and politician. John Beecher, NHL player for the Calgary Flames. James R. Beckwith, Wisconsin State Assembly. Simeon Benjamin, businessman, philanthropist, and benefactor to Elmira College. A man who we've spoken before, Zebulon Brockway. Make sure you give that name when you get pulled over. Known as the father of prison reform, directed the Elmira Reformatory. Boo. Dan Kane, U.S. Air Force General and current chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I don't know if that's still accurate, but I feel like our current Joint Chief of Staff is probably someone who works at like a bar in D.C. at somewhere. Anyway, Olivia Livy Langdon Clemens, wife of Mark Twain.
There you go.
Art Sykes, boxer. Mark Twain, writer, little-known, well-known writer. Asher Tyler, former U.S. Congressman. Louis Sayre Van Duzer, U.S. Navy officer. Antha Minerva Virgil, composer and inventor. John Joseph Wantuck, U.S. Marine, awarded the Navy Cross. Bob Waterfield, college and pro football player, husband of actress Jane Russell. Brian Williams, television news anchor. Jason Wise, actor. Don Zimmer, Major League Baseball player and manager. And Aaron Gillern, missing person and UNIDO worker.
I was just looking this up. He went missing in Germany almost 20 years ago.
Might be maybe he's over there chilling. Let's assume he's alive and he didn't want to come back to the United States.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go. Let's take it there.
There you go.
Well, Rob, those are notable people. And speaking of notable people, you got some hot fire to read to give our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's.
I got a lot of reading to do, Jim, as I crack open Volume 2 of Southern Tier, perhaps my favorite book at this point.
Sure.
I've got some excerpts here. I've chosen 3 of some varying length that we talked about a lot today, but this will kind of help tie some things together and give us a little more information here and there. I think, this first bit kind of has a little bit of a survey of Elmira. Arch Merrill is the poet laureate of Upstate New York. I forget where he achieved that accolade officially, but it is a thing someone said about him, and he earns it in this writing. For sure.
And we here honor that.
Oh, absolutely.
We honor that to the fullest.
Absolutely. So let's dive in. This is Chapter 6 we're going to be reading from right now. I believe we're in Chapter 6. We'll also be reading from Chapter 10 as well later. Please feel free to jump in at any time, Jim, or tell me to move on to the next chapter.
Okay.
If need be. We got some interesting facts in here. So this is Chapter 6, A Queen is Born. We're reading starting in like the 3rd paragraph here. Oh, I know that Elmira no longer claims the scepter of Queen City of the Southern Tier. Rank among cities is determined by numerical superiority, and as far back as 1890, Binghamton bounced past her in the population race.
Let's fucking go. Let's talk to him. Tell him what it is.
Arch Merrill knows. He knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows the fucking vibes.
But Elmira has never lost her queenly air, for her reign was long and her memories are glorious ones. Not that she is haughty or prissy. Oh boy. She remembers she was once a rather frisky lass herself. I don't know, Arch.
What were you doing in town, bud?
Yeah.
You're getting busy out there, dude.
Indeed. She has mellowed into a gracious dowager, and while she was growing in industrial and commercial power, she also was laying up treasures, such intangible things as history and tradition.
Mm.
Let's continue. Elmira has been a gateway, or has always been a gateway. Through it, in a long gone day, the warriors of the Iroquois nations poured. She kept the gate in the time of settlement, and the products of the frontier floated down the rivers from Old Newtown. In the time of Civil War, she kept the blue tide to the Union soldiers, or of the Union soldiers, flowing to the southern front. She also killed a lot of Confederates in her prison camps.
She sure did, man. She made quick work of those motherfuckers too.
I think that's the haughty part of Elmira.
The frisky part.
That must have been what he was talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In her time, Elmira has been so many things: the site of Seneca villages, of a temporary fort in the Revolution, of post-war treaty making with the tribes, of a vast military depot, and a federal prison in the Civil War, of the first women's college in America to grant its students opportunities equal to those given in the men's schools. That's Elmira College. It started as a women's college. Of a pioneering experiment in peneology, of a national cemetery, and in these air-minded times, she is, quote, the soaring capital of America. I want to learn more about that first prison, the prison after the prison camp, because everyone, like that guy that ran it, Zebulon, the father of prison reform. What was he doing? Like what?
I mean, I guess he's probably someone who's like, all right, so maybe we can't murder people in prison. And then that was the reform.
Right. Let's not go for a quarter dead. Let's go for like an eighth dead.
Like, if y'all still want to kill each other in prison, that's cool. But like, we shouldn't be killing people because people still want to know about the people in prison.
Indeed.
So we can't murder like that. Just saying.
Well, let's listen to Arch Merrill continue to kill it when talking about Elmira. Great names and great enterprises have been associated with the old queen. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, Mark Twain, spent many happy summers on a hill above Elmira, and there wrote some of his best tales. David B. Hill fought his way up from Elmira ward politics to become a state boss and a power in the national democracy. An amazing number of other leaders in every field have some time in their careers called Elmira home. It was the aggressive spirit of her founders that long ago made her the queen of the tier. Elmira capital has poured into the early canals and railroads, into mining coal across the state border, and into ambitious, far-off enterprises. The distinctive city of 50,000, with an old Native American river and a pioneer railroad in her heart, once was a great ironmonger. Her woolen mills helped to clothe the Union armies in the Civil War. Elmira made fire engines for more than 3/4 of a century. The nature of her industry has changed with the years, but its diversity has not. Yes, very diverse with its Irish, German, and Italian.
Sure. We have residents. 2 types of music here, country and Western.
There you go. I'm sure there's some polka too. Sometimes the economic going was a little rough, but the old queen always made the hill. Before it was the name of an innkeeper's playful daughter, it was Newtown Point, a trading post. It still is the trading center for a large area on both sides of the state line. Let's see. Even the casual visitor senses that there is no Johnny-come-lately town and feels the aura of history that hangs over the city on the Chemung. Some of her buildings are showing their age, it is true, but this is like in the 50s. But what streamlined, modernistic structure has the stately dignity of the old stone courthouse that was built in the year of the Battle of Antietam. Elmira is a city of traditions, clinging to old historic ties. She has kept the names of the founders on her streets under the old elms and maples, names like Gray, Baldwin, Hoffman, Davis, DeWitt, and the like. Her free academy has retained in its old-fashioned name through the years. The canal that mothered her in the days of her youth is perpetuated in the name of the Chemung Canal Trust Company, founded in 1833 as the Chemung Canal Bank. Although 76...
There's a Elmira Free Academy.
Oh,
it's high school.
There you go. All right. I feel like that may have been where Ernie Davis went. There we go. Although 76 years have gone by since a canal boat docked in Elmira. That is a tragedy. It's now been over 100 years, unless something's happened between now and when.
Well, something needs to happen.
Let's do it. Guys, send us money and we'll make sure a boat docks in Elmira. If you want to. Where else can you find the statue of a gallant racehorse on the site of the track where she fell dead in 1875?
Wow.
In Elmira's Eldridge Park, American girl serenely watches the passing show. That's very nice of the town to memorialize a racehorse that dropped dead with a statue.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
It's thoughtful.
Other cities may call their baseball teams by such common names as the Green Sox or the Bluebirds. Elmira's Diamond Warriors and the Eastern League are the Pioneers. And that's where I'll leave us for our next excerpt. Any thoughts, Jim, on what you've just heard?
I mean, he's a wizard with a pen.
It's true. He's true.
He's crafted a visual image of the other crown jewel of the Southern Tier. If you ask me.
You know what, Jim? It pains me to say it, but I think I'm gonna drop out a lot of canal talk here. I don't know if we need 2.5 pages on canals. I think I'm gonna save that for me. That's good. In the interest of you and our listeners, I'm going to press on to chapter 10, the Elmira story continued. If you'll allow it, I'll do it. I'll talk canals for the next 10 minutes if you want. But
I believe it. No, there's no doubt there.
All right.
I don't doubt that.
I'm also noticing I didn't mark an out point, so we'll just figure out where to wrap it up from chapter 10. We're jumping in midway here. It was in 1875 that the LaFrance Fire Engine Company built its first steamer. The company had been incorporated in 1873 using the patents of T.S. LaFrance, and it was an outgrowth of the Button Fire Engine Company founded in 1834. So there's a little bit of a cottage industry here in Elmira. Making fire engines back in the day. Steam-powered fire engines. Pioneer fire apparatus firm still is going strong in Elmira as the American LaFrance Foamite Corporation. Long after, quote, all its lovely companions are faded and gone. 2 memorable events occurred in the mid-1870s. Only 2. That's brutal. One was the building of Park Church. The other was the establishment of the State Reformatory. Woven into the stories of these 2 utterly dissimilar institutions are the lives of 2 remarkable men. In 1846, 40 members had been read out of the Presbyterian Church after they had protested a pastor's sermon defending slavery. They organized the Independent Congregational Church, and in 1854, the Reverend Thomas K. Beecher, half-brother of Henry Ward Beecher and Harriet Beecher Stowe, came to Elmira as its minister. In his own words, he came, quote, with the settled impression that organized authority in religion has had its day. Traditional customs enforced by authority tend to insincerity and solemn and sanctimonious melancholy had better become obsolete. Those are some strong words.
Yeah, he really dressed that up.
Indeed. In his 46 years of ministry in Elmira, he never deviated from that creed, but he was no dour iconoclast. His intellectual frankness was mixed with good humor and a love of humanity. No wonder he and Mark Twain were such good friends. Father Tom Beecher left the imprint of his brilliant, tolerant personality on the city. He helped design the imposing edifice of greenish stone in the Romanesque style that faces Wisner Park today. It includes social and recreational quarters because Beecher held that then revolutionary idea that a church should be a center of social life, not merely a place where sermons were preached. Park Church was first occupied October 10th, 1875, with a congregation of 1,000. Its pastor characteristically announced that, quote, "The poor will be cordially welcomed and cared for." Today, Father Tom stands in sculptured bronze in front of the church he built and served so long, out benignly on the Main Street crowds at the imposing First Baptist Church across the park. I like that they put it right across the way from that, dare I say, shitty church.
Imposing indeed.
All right, I've got a little bit on Zebulon here. That might be a nice way to close things out.
Yeah, I want to know more about this guy.
All right. A contemporary, also years ahead of his time, was Zebulon R. Brockway. Who will be the judge of that? Pioneering penologist who in 1870 conceived the idea of a state reformatory for young men between the ages of 16 and 30 where they would be segregated from older, more hardened criminals. 20 acres of farmland on the northern outskirts of Elmira was picked as the site, and on an eminence of the massive gray brick structures was opened in 1876. Additions have been made through the years. The structure has been shorn of its old tower, but always it has been surrounded by a wall 20 feet high. Here Z.R. Brockway, Zebulon to us. For many years, its superintendent evolved the system of an intermediate sentence under which inmates, by accumulating credits, advance through successive stages of increasing privileges. Here also was developed the pioneer program of industrial training, military drill, a scholastic curriculum. An able successor to Brockway was Frank L. Christian. He gamified the prison system, it sounds like.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Inmates learn about agriculture and get healthful exercise on the Elmira State Reformatory 404-acre farm at Horseheads. Okay. They are taught trades such as printing, the ruling and binding of records, making of stationery, and coffee roasting. They receive instruction from the illiterate levels through 8th grade and high school regents. Hundreds of young men have been saved from criminal careers and made useful members of society through this ever-pioneering penological institution. Part of the physical plant of the State Reformatory, but a separate entity, is the State Department of Corrections Reception Center. Established in 1945, it is classified as a classification center which receives inmates between the ages of 16 and 21, except those sentenced to death. Yikes. After 85 days of study and observation, they are recommended for transfer to some other institution with a suggested program of treatment and training. We're just getting really into the nitty-gritty here of the prison system. You know what, Jim? I found a happier note to end on.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about that horse who died, and then we're going to end. Then we're going to go back. Then we'll finish. Does that sound good?
Let's go.
All right. Let us go back to the crisp afternoon of October 2nd, 1875. Thousands have gathered for the race meeting at the Elmira Driving Park. Many have come to see the famous American Girl, who is to race in the featured event, the free-for-all. Ooh, that's fun. American Girl was 13 years old, and she had a notable record. She'd won 150 heats in 2 minutes, 30 seconds or better, and her best mark was 2 minutes, 16 and a half seconds. The race had just gotten underway when a shocked gasp came from the stands. American Girl stumbled and fell dead. Oh, my God.
Rest in peace.
Jeez. The old North Side racetrack has been gone these many years, but at nearby Eldridge Park for decades, an amusement park, American Girl still watches the changing scene. The Racing Association erected a life-size statue of the gallant old mare with her record on it near the scene of her last race. There we have it, Jim. There
Beautiful.
we have it. Elmira, what a town. What a town. Lots of history.
I mean, Lots of good stuff going on there. 5 stars.
There you go.
Get in
10
there.
out of 10. Would recommend.
Bring a friend. Bring an enemy to the town. Who cares?
Sure.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? Spread the gospel of the Elmira Free Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Big shout out to my guy Levi one more time. Shout him out. I haven't seen that dude in 10, 15 years. Good dude.
Well, speaking of shouting things out, do you have anything that you would like to shout out, Jim, and recommend?
Oh, man. All right, check this out. So let's just say you got out of the can, right? You did a stretch. You did 10 joints in the can. Not a lot of laughter. Not a lot of fun to be had while you're behind the wall. You know, the food's not great. You're just sleeping and working out all day. It's not a good place to be. So you need some levity. You need something to brighten your spirit after doing your time. Well, here's what you do. Is you go and you pick up my album, Upstate Understandings. It is available at jimsearch.bandcamp.com. Got a couple CDs and tapes available. Found out there's 2 vinyl left. They are available at Stellar Human.
So cool.
There are 2 left. So if you want to go pick them up there, you can do that. I highly recommend it. It's a great album, and I'm being a little biased here, maybe because it's my voice all over it. But the production is stellar. Looking at you, Rob. And the album art is delectable. Thank you so much.
Different
Adam.
album art on each physical version too, might I add.
That's correct. You get the tape, you get one, you get the CD, you get another, you get the vinyl, you get another. All of that courtesy of Adam Russell. And if you were there that night, you saw those essence was captured by Matt Ely. A true trifecta of talent to bring that together. JimSearchComedy.com is a place to go find some dates and things like that. If you are in the Binghamton area, oh my gosh, you got a treat coming up. March 27th, Stellar Human Presents. Go pick up those tickets. We got some left, but I don't want you to miss out. So, they are $15 on Eventbrite, $20 at the door. It is a lineup of stars. Stephen Brown is going to host it. Courtney Farrington's going to feature. I am going to headline. It doesn't get better than that. Doors are at 6:30, shows at 7 o'clock. I expect to see everyone who's listening to that podcast be there. Go run it up. Again, jimsearchcomedy.com. You can find all the fun stuff there. And you follow me on JimSearch at all social media. Bong. Rob, they've done all those things, but yet and still they would like to do more. How can they?
Jim, let's just say you were super excited to read 10 minutes worth of canal talk and then realized you didn't have time for it. So you made the adult decision to pivot to something else in the interest of time.
Right.
And to reward yourself for making such a call, you're going to put on my album called New York Sticky, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. You could also throw on my EP called Cyber Punish. It's a lovely little EP as well. Go check those out. They're all available there. Jim.
Yes.
I think we need to give a little hint for next week's episode.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's just say there will be some mansions in the sky. I'm going to leave it there.
There we go.
Just going to leave it there.
There we go. Well, that means we just need a little up pun to finish today's episode. Are you ready for it, Jim?
Yes, give it to us.
We need to wrap this up so I can go read that damn chapter on canals in Elmira. Let's get out of here.
Can't leave fast enough. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.